My jawline finally looks good on a Daily Motor podcast. This is incredible.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, children, boys, girls, episode 19 of the Daily Motor podcast. Coming to you live here from, well, it's only live for us. It's actually not live. Coming to you pre-recorded here from Daily Motor Studios in scenic Willow Run, Michigan.
That's right.
I don't know if Willow Run actually, I don't think it's its own...
Well, they do have a sign.
They have a sign, which obviously makes it official. It's actually a pretty nice sign.
It's a decent sign.
Yeah, they're doing a lot to clean up this area. I like to think it's just for us.
Oh, certainly. I think they watch all of the channels.
Right.
And they think we want our area to be well represented.
Right. Well, the way I see it is if we ever get pulled over for driving like hoonigans on the test loop or anything,
Which
I want to...
never do.
Never.
No.
I'd like to point out to I don't know, police chief, township supervisor, something like that. I'm like, do you realize how many millions of people witness
it's marketing?
Yeah, this area every single day.
Yeah. And then you could remind him that you pay his salary too. I think they like when you do that.
Did you try that when you got pulled over in the Sonata N-Line?
No.
Excuse me. Pretty sure I pay your salary. I think that guy would really appreciate.
Oh, he would have loved that. Yeah, he was definitely the type.
Right. We've had an interesting week. We had two very notable cars, which I really appreciate. There are a lot of press cars we get that are just kind of, Like, it's like, they come and go. Like, if I asked you to be like, hey, tell me something about the... did you even drive the Mitsubishi Outlander?
Yes.
Tell me something about it. The Outlander. The white one.
No, I drove the brown one.
Wait, a brown one?
Yeah, the hybrid, the plug-in.
Oh, the old one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But that one was fairly noteworthy because it was elderly.
The shifter was phallic.
Yeah,
I can tell you that about it.
Yeah. But this week with the Mazda 3 Turbo and the Defender 90 V8, two very notable cars. One thing I found interesting with the Land Rover, did you see that on the window sticker it didn't list that the engine is supercharged? I don't know if you caught that.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, very strange because it's a supercharged V8. Yeah. You'd think they'd want to say that, but it just says V8.
Yeah, they did give you horsepower and torque though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange.
I always like when Muronis do that. It makes our job just that much easier.
Yeah. What an awesome car.
Oh, just top 10, maybe top 5 actually cars that we've driven, in my opinion.
And it's a perfect example of a lot of it is not good. There are a lot of bad things about that car.
Like the interior rattles,
it floats all over the place. It's very vague to drive. It is impractical. It's horrible fuel economy.
I don't think it's impractical. Why is it impractical?
The two-door.
Yeah, but the back seat's massive.
Yeah, but
the back seat is huge. No, it's just power.
Getting in there is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but it's power.
Yeah, but you have to like hold it in one direction to get it to go back. I think
That's
you have
true,
to hold it.
But, yeah.
And if you're just like putting something in the back, it's and then put it in there and kind of finagle it.
Yeah.
A lot of bad things about the car, but it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's kind of the opposite of the Raptor.
Well, cars have to be bad in order for them to be good.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Some character, just like the Miata. The Miata is loud and uncomfortable a lot of the times and too small, but it's excellent.
I just, it's one of those cars where you just watch the needle drop.
The fuel needle?
The fuel needle. I filled that thing up, literally filled it up yesterday, okay? I've driven it maybe 20 miles. I've gone through an eighth of a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't keep it full. I'm trying to keep it full for, giving it back and everything. And it's just, it's insane how, I think I was averaging like 12.6.
Yep. I think that's what it was pretty.
But I actually achieved 19 on my highway.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
19.2 or something.
What's EPA? 19.
Oh wow. It was overnight. Or maybe it was like 19.1. I don't know. It essentially met EPA.
Okay.
The cluster actually read out, the little display in the middle read 20.1.
Okay.
At the end of my trip.
Wow. So, overachiever. Mm-hmm. It looks really cool too.
It's just such like a Bond villain car. It's
like a black on black spec.
It's so sinister, like just so awesome. Yeah.
And again, if I didn't have and family,
Mm-hmm.
I would choose the 2-door. There's just something about it. The 4-door Defender didn't really speak to me all that much.
It doesn't look as cool either.
No, it doesn't look as
like
cool. It's just kind of like, yeah, you're trying too hard.
It's like a Discovery.
Right. And I feel the same way about the Bronco, but like, and the Jeep really.
Yeah.
But the 2-doors all look like, okay, you're committed.
Special. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is a special car.
Yeah.
And putting the V8 in there. I mean, what I really love about that car is it's kind of like the end of an era.
Totally.
We're not really going to get many cars like that
Well,
anymore.
Stu was telling me that they are not going to be able to build that engine in England after like 2 years from now.
Because of regulations or
Mhm.
something.
So that'll be it. I mean, they
Yeah.
won't. It'll just be done after in the next couple of years. So get them while you can. They're actually selling them at MSRP for $108,000. I've seen a few on Auto Trader that are still up for sale for their That's unheard of nowadays. You can't do that anymore. But if you want a Land Rover Defender 90 V8 2-door, you can have it for its window sticker price.
Daily Motor top tip.
Daily
Go-
Motor
go
top
buy-
tip:
go
go
buy a
buy a Land
Defender.
Rover Defender 90 V8 and tell Great Britain that they shouldn't stop producing the engine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, it was really good. I had so much fun driving that car around. And we've driven cars that are faster, but there's something about the way that thing bucks and
It's
rolls
hilarious.
around. And yeah, and it sounds, you pointed out, it's not as obnoxious as an SVR car
No.
in its noise.
Mm-mm.
So you don't feel like an asshole.
Right.
But it sounds so good and just satisfying
Yeah.
that you just want to lean on it. I wasn't even full throttle all the time, but I was often like
Leaning on it.
5/8 throttle.
Yeah,
Just
same.
like,
Yeah,
It's
you
just-
could also get some really satisfying ZF 8-speed farts if you shifted
Yes.
like between 3 and
Just right.
4,000 just right. It would give you that really good snap between shifts. Also on cold start, if you blip the throttle, like gunshot pops and bangs.
Really?
Yes, I found that out this morning.
cool.
Really cool. Yeah, it's just a cool car. I mean,
Very
I don't
cool.
really know how else to put it. It was almost better and like more reasonable and more realistic than actually someday owning a Wrangler 392 because it's a little bit more usable. It's not as rowdy and obnoxious and just horrible. Because I mean, the Wrangler 392, it's a really like. How would you?
You
put
wouldn't
that
want to
car?
drive it on the highway.
You wouldn't want to drive it on the
wouldn't wanna
highway. And you
daily
wouldn't
it.
want to drive it every day, right?
No.
It's
Whereas
a,
this you could totally daily.
I have the word. It's a
Okay.
thrilling experience, right?
Yes.
Driving the Wrangler 392. And I was just talking to the Topher about this while we were driving the Defender 90. I was like, I love the Wrangler 392, okay? But what I love most about it is that I can drive it for 1 week out of the year and then be done.
Yeah.
I can have my fun for a week, say that I drove it, have my fun, and then I can give it back to Stellantis and be like, okay, see you next year. Or
Before it catches
probably
on
not.
fire.
Before it, yeah. Well, since you mentioned that, when we were driving the Wrangler 392 last year, I had a power steering overheating fault while I was driving that car. I don't know if I ever told you about that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was worried it was going to burn to the ground while I was at
You
the
were
wheel.
close to the edge of your life there.
Yeah, it was. It was a red warning light, beep 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 on the cluster.
The Topher and I were driving around a diesel Wrangler a few years ago on a review, and it also threw a bunch of lights at
Did
us.
it catch on fire?
Didn't catch on fire.
Almost.
fortunately. Yeah. But that one was painted orange, so you wouldn't have really been able
Oh,
to
you would
tell.
have noticed. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
our Wrangler was red. So.
Yeah, I think they do that intentionally.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's perfectly summarized. The Wrangler 392 almost has to be a second vehicle. It's like a sports car.
Yes.
It's not your main car. Whereas
Whereas
the
you
Defender could
could.
100% be your. You'd have to have a lot of
could.
money.
to put gas in it. Yes.
Right.
But
You have to
otherwise,
purchase it.
though, I mean, the doors are large and heavy. Emily was struggling with the doors because they're
Sure.
very large.
I was also, I don't know if you did this to Emily at all, but I would intentionally put it up into douchebag mode, full ride height when Alyssa had to get in or out.
Oh, I didn't do that.
She had to like
So
climb
mean.
in. Yeah.
Even though I'm not that mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say though, when I swapped with you on Friday, you had it in douchebag mode,
Yes.
and I forgot to lower it back down, and I was driving and pulling out of the complex, and I like kind of got on the gas. I was like 5/8 pulling out onto Michigan Avenue, and I was like, "Whoa, what is going on?" And I was like, "Oh, Charlie's got it in douchebag mode," so I lowered
Yep.
it back down. Then I was like, "Okay, now I'm good,"
Yep.
because it actually doesn't handle too terribly when you're in normal mode.
No, you can toss
You can
it.
toss it around corners. It doesn't feel like it's going to flip over like I thought it was going to.
Sure.
Yeah, the air suspension is pretty intuitive.
Did you check out my the beginning of my winding road drive?
Oh yeah, I watched your video.
Yeah, isn't it
Yeah.
cool? I was like,
Yeah.
it was almost stuck,
Yeah,
but put it into mud and ruts and just throttled out.
yeah.
And it's some pretty pedestrian like street tires on that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I mean, when you have that much power, you just
I won't do
turn
that.
the earth.
I'm like traumatized. I took the Jeep Grand Cherokee L back into that section, and same sort of thing. I put it in a mud mode and it was able to get its, electronically with the car's brain, it was able to figure out how to get out. But I was so scared. I'm like, the Topher's recovery senses are tingling right now. He's gonna have to come pull me out in the 4Runner. But yeah, so super cool car.
It also is kind of a nice middle ground between something like the Wrangler 392. I mean, technically the Bronco Raptor is going to come out, but that's going to be a whole other type of thing.
Yeah, it's also ugly. So
and its engine's not going to be as exciting. It's going to be more like capable than the Wrangler 392, probably from like a Baja standpoint.
Yeah.
But the engine's not going to matter as much. So in daily driving, it's just not going to matter.
It's also the biggest vehicle I've ever seen. Have you ever seen one of those on the road?
It's so big.
It's like wider than a semi.
It's obnoxious.
Yeah.
So it splits the gap nicely between the Wrangler 392 and the G63, the AMG G63.
Yes, well, I said earlier this week that Defender 90 is like a two-door Bronco and a G63 had a baby.
There you go.
Yeah. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
And it's also cool how it transcends sort of automotive enthusiast like boundaries, because you could everyone's gonna appreciate that car. I can't think of anyone who would be disdainful.
No, everyone thought it was cool.
You could take it to a Cars and Coffee. You could take it to your law office. I mean, it really fits into a lot of different ways. Dentist.
Miami.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely good car award.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think so far as far as 2022 goes, it's top 5 cars for me.
Yeah.
And I bet it'll stay there all year because it's one of those cars. We haven't even talked about the best part of it. The steering wheel's Alcantara.
You're right.
That was just amazing. And the car only had 1,000 miles on it, so it wasn't all matted and disgusting yet.
Right. Also a fairly phallic shifter.
Slightly phallic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also kind of in the way when you're going to use the infotainment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But convenient when you're actually using the shifter.
Yeah, and you could manual shift with it. It was kind of a cool
and it was in the right direction, too.
Yeah.
Up was down, down was up.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, very, very good job, Land Rover. Keep it up. Anyone, if you have the means, I would highly recommend it.
No, that's seriously, it was funny. We were driving down the highway. Emily and I were driving down the highway. We passed the Mega Millions board. Yeah. And it was like 300 million or whatever. She was like, man, what would you do if you won like the Mega Millions? And I was like, well, I'd buy one of these immediately. This is the first thing I would buy. I would go to Land Rover and I would order a Defender 90 2-door V8.
You know, that would be quite the house, the garage, an LC 500 and a Defender 90.
Oh, 2 V8, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Quite good. Yeah, good car. Fun fact, Alyssa and I bought a Mega Millions ticket
did you
a few
win?
Weeks ago. No, I can't find the ticket.
Oh, maybe you did win.
Maybe we did win. I could have a Defender 90 on order right now.
Dang.
And rough. I like put it somewhere. We were at our parents' house. I don't know if I left it in the bedroom there or what. But
maybe it's in whatever. What car were you driving last week?
No, this was a while ago, actually. It was I had the NX 350.
Oh, some Lexus engineer has now won the Mega Millions.
Well, I hope he puts it toward good use and buys a Land Rover Defender 90.
Yeah, right.
Just like the opposite of a Lexus.
Yeah, totally. Got to get the bumper to bumper if you're ever buying one
very
used.
Much so.
But
the other car we had this week, and another interesting one, is the Mazda 3 hatch turbo. Now, interestingly, all-wheel drive. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
There's no reason for that car to be all-wheel drive, other than I guess it doesn't ever spin.
It feels very front-wheel drive. No, it does spin.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I got the front wheels to spin on multiple occasions.
Yeah, then what's the point of it being all-wheel drive?
No idea.
Just marketing.
Winter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad car.
No, not at all.
It really isn't. It's quite good. But the turbo model is just unnecessary. And I don't know if it's better to say poorly executed or unnecessary, because I could see there being an interest for a Mazda Speed 3. Something with a manual.
I'll never do that again.
Very sport oriented, a little bit firmer suspension, like a GTI competitor.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not that.
No, not
at all.
No.
What was up with the steering? It just felt vague and marshmallowy.
It felt like old Bmw M steering, kind of.
But not in a good way.
No. Well, that wasn't good steering, though, because you couldn't feel anything. Yeah, that car, and you summed it up kind of how I did with, on paper, it looks like, oh, maybe this is a GTI competitor, but it just isn't. You get in it, you drive it, and you're like, oh, okay, well, this is more like luxurious power, kind of. Because it's a little bit of a bigger 4-cylinder, I think maybe that's why they do the whole turbo thing, because like luxury cars, they usually have a little bit more power and a smoother powertrain. So they went for a bigger 4-cylinder, turbocharged all-wheel drive. I kind of looked at it as like a stepping stone between a Honda Civic and like a BMW 3 Series.
Sure.
Kind of fits in between there. But speaking of the Honda Civic, if you sit in the back seat of a Honda Civic and then you sit in the back seat of that Mazda 3, you've got like an extra 8 inches in the back of the Civic. It's just unreal. I'm 5'11". My legs press into that driver's seat of the Mazda 3, whereas I have like limousine room in a Civic now.
I don't know what the deal is with the hatch.
There
That's
is
the biggest
just no
screw up
room in
that
there.
car. In the sedan, the Mazda 3 sedan, it's not an issue. There's more.
Oh, I believe that.
There's more rear seat room in the
It's
sedan.
the weird sort of design language that they've done with the hatchback.
The seat pillar's too large.
Yeah.
And the back seat's too small.
Mhm.
It is interesting you bring up that kind of in between language though, because we had the Audi A3 recently.
Yes.
And I could actually see at the price point going with the Mazda 3 Turbo over the A3 because the steering wasn't as good as the A3, but it's got more power than the A3, a smoother powertrain.
Sounds better.
Yeah, it sounds better. I mean,
Yeah.
overall, I think I enjoy driving the Mazda better than the Audi.
Yeah, and Soul Red is the best red
Oh,
on
it's
the
so
market.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and again, for the price, I mean, $36,000 is very expensive for a car of that.
Just walk in. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Thought I heard the door open.
It's expensive for that class, the Civic, the Golf,
Right.
everything like that. But it's a bargain for an entry luxury vehicle.
Yes.
So I could actually see somebody buying that car as a replacement for some sort of more luxury type car if they care less about the badge and more about the actual features.
Right.
However, no cooled seats. A little disappointing there.
Definitely.
And I think back to that, the Forte GT that we just had.
Yep. Mentioned that in my
Heated and
review.
cooled seats,
Mhm.
heated steering wheel, I think.
And that was the thing with me for the Mazda 3. Like, of course, you can go on about all of its luxury features, right? It's got heated seats, heated steering wheel. It has adaptive cruise, lane keep to an extent, like that little steering assist thing, Apple CarPlay, whatever else you want to say. But all of that stuff is available on like entry level cars now. Like Kias and Hyundais, they just come with that for under 30 grand. And
Yeah.
that Forte GT we drove was how much? Like 27,000 or something? 26,000?
26, yeah, like
Okay,
mid
so
26.
$10,000 cheaper than the Mazda 3.
Significant.
And it was better to drive.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it sounded cooler. I think it looked better.
I wouldn't say it looks better. It looks sportier. I mean,
Sportier.
obviously looks are subjective.
Yeah.
So yeah, people can feel however they want. I think the Mazda 3 hatch looks quite good.
It does look cool.
It looks a little more mature than the Forte GT. But the Forte GT also looks good.
Yeah.
They both look good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different kind of looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that Mazda 3 for a few days this week and never driving it around. I mean, we took it on a lot of errands earlier this week. Never once was I like, oh, I'm really glad I have the turbo. Like the normal, the naturally aspirated motor
Yeah.
would have been plenty fine for me.
Yeah. And you can have all-wheel drive in the naturally aspirated motor as well.
Yeah,
if
and
you
if you
want.
get the sedan, you can have a manual.
Mhm.
How much does the equivalent trim with the an A motor cost?
No idea.
Let's find out.
Let's do some Google.
That sounds inappropriate.
What?
Do some Google.
Do some Google.
All right. Mazda 3.
Oh, it starts at 20,000.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So ours was double the price of a base model car.
Almost, yeah. And
The sedan looks really good.
I've never driven a base one, but I'm sure it's quite good.
2.5S.
So there's a 2.0 and a 2.5. And Mazda's trims are so confusing these days.
Oh, what about the carbon edition?
Get you gray and black things with some
Okay.
red leather trim seats.
Oh, there you go. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, you go down because it's the Premium Plus.
Well, let's go to,
Wasn't ours the Premium Plus?
we need to go to the hatch. This is the sedan.
I thought you wanted to look at the sedan equivalent of the hatch.
No, I wanted to look at the NA version of the hatch.
Oh, I gotcha.
So this is the one we had, the Turbo Premium Plus, starting at 34 plus destination, so essentially 36.
It's 36.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So you
right
could
above
have the
go.
Premium, which still gets you the Bose, leather trim seats. You're not getting the 360 view and the front and rear parking sensors. Kind of
it. Oh,
surprising.
or a black spoiler either.
But you're talking 28.7, which is much, much better
Yeah.
than I mean, you're
Look
pretty
at
much
186 horsepower.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna drive just fine. Yeah. But you could probably. I mean, it is a shame you have to pay that much to get the Bose. But a comparable Civic is going to be about that much, a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
But a touring Civic is going to be up in the high 20s as well.
Can I please turn the heat down? I am
Down?
Yes. Are you cold? A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you are. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
You take it.
sweating.
What do you have under your sweater?
I'll
What's
just roll my sleeves up. I don't know. It's okay. It's 86 degrees here.
Well, there's no way it's actually 86. It's set at 86.
Okay. No, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
I will survive.
Maybe you're more in the line of the heat than I
Yeah,
am.
probably.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Should have drank a LaCroix to keep yourself chilled.
I do actually have a Gatorade, but it's
You
fine.
want to go get it?
No, it's okay.
For any of you wondering, I am quite ill this
Yeah.
week. So we are.
They've
taking
probably
precautions.
gathered that by now.
I think they just assumed you wanted your jawline to look better.
That's valid. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're never going to see my face again.
Right. So I think the Mazda 3 itself is a decent car. In fact, did you listen to the sound system?
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's pretty good, yeah. I
Pretty
thought it was
nice.
kind of bass heavy. Didn't you think it was a little bass heavy? I guess that's not necessary.
I think maybe certain songs,
Yeah.
but I mean you can adjust that.
Yeah.
When you really turned up like more complex music, it was very, very well balanced.
Yeah. Would you
And
give
at
it an A?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very impressive system, especially at that price point. It's
Yeah.
the best at that price.
Yeah.
Yeah, bar none. People who talk shit about Bose, they're just ignorant. And part of that's because Bose, I think, devalued themselves a little bit over the last decade or so,
What, being in Nissans?
being in Nissans.
I knew you were going to say that.
Nissans and GM products.
Yeah.
But other Boses are quite good.
Yeah.
So I would not give the Mazda 3 Turbo a good car.
I don't think I
Maybe
would
the-
either. It's one of those things where you have to consider good car. Does it meet what it's intended, like its intended purpose?
Right. How is it to drive, how to be to own, and how well does it achieve its purpose? How is it to drive? Smooth,
It's okay.
but not exciting.
Yeah.
So just good.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fairly quiet on the highway and everything. How to be to own? I'm sure it'd be fine, but it didn't
Like, you
get
don't
great
need to
fuel
use the back
economy.
seat. Oh, it didn't?
I didn't see any more. I didn't like reset my fuel economy, but I think it was like low 20s.
Yeah, I believe
on
that.
average. I don't know.
I
what
wasn't flogging it either when I was driving it, so I wouldn't have messed up the fuel economy.
right.
I drove it like a grandpa.
Yeah, same. So not great fuel economy, and I mean the turbo motor is obviously not going to be quite as reliable as just an NA motor. So I would argue for in that class, it's not going to be the best car to own
Yeah.
either. And then how well does it achieve its purpose? That's where it gets vague. What is its purpose?
Yeah.
Is it's kind of all over the map.
Yeah.
I mean, the purpose of this car is to just be a handsome, well specs, kind of the previous Golf. Someone who would buy a Golf before would get this car now
Hmm.
because the Golf doesn't exist in base form here in the States.
Right.
But I don't know who buys this car, the 2.5 turbo.
Front wheel drive. But someone who wants larger
No,
tailpipes.
this is all-wheel drive too.
Oh.
This is just the non-premium plus, so you're not
Oh,
getting
I gotcha.
those. Either of these cars, the turbo model. I don't know who buys that.
Larger tailpipes.
Yeah, and the
Mhm.
black spoiler.
Yeah.
On
And a
one of
black
them.
front air dam.
Right.
Yeah.
But this week, we've got a lot of exciting cars as well. It's actually one of our busiest weeks ever. 4 press cars.
We have 4 cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is,
You picked a good time to be ill.
I know, right? Well, the other thing is Alyssa has like 5 reports this week for work, which is awesome. She actually got her first ever like assigned to her from a management company, like appraisal,
Oh.
which is cool because it's, yeah, big
Congrats, Alyssa. if
applause,
she's listening.
applause button. She probably isn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like $500 for like one report.
Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Making
she's,
moves.
yeah. She's
She'll have a
doing-
Defender 90 in no time.
Exactly. But yeah, we're both very busy, and then assuming we're gonna travel this weekend as well. So a lot going on, but
Yeah.
we were like, fuck it, let's throw in 4 press cars as well.
Yeah. Well, you thought it was going to be 3,
Yeah, and then I forgot about the
and then
Navigator.
you forgot we had a 4th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
now
really,
it's
it's
4.
like it's 2 plus 2 half press cars
Yeah, kind of.
because
You
they're
giving
like,
Amos time in the compass too, or no?
no. I mean, if he
No.
really wants it, he can take it.
Not
But
true. Also, I am going to take pictures of the new Honda HR-V
yeah.
in a couple of days
hmm
that you guys won't see for another month. But
And I just drove the new Kia Sportage as well.
yes, you did.
Yeah. So I guess I'll
Yeah.
talk about that first before
Yeah.
getting into our press vehicles.
Do it.
It's good. It's I mean, if I said to you, hey, Kia came out with a new crossover, comeback crossover, like face, like refresh. You'd probably assume it's good.
Yeah.
And you'd be accurate.
Yeah. I saw that X-Line trim with the BFGs on it.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool because we did some pretty hardcore off-roading with it, and I have a video coming up tomorrow kind of showcasing that.
Bottom it out?
No.
Oh.
But they actually had us like 2 wheels off the ground and everything, and
Wow.
it did pretty well.
Sweet.
And the other thing is it was just very solid. There was no rattling, vibrations, anything. It was good on-road as well.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the looks. It's a little exotic.
Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it'll sell well. I think it'll do well. It's fairly large inside for that class.
Yeah.
And I think it looks a lot better than the outgoing Sportage.
I agree with that. Yeah. It's a little bit more elevated and unique to Kia's brand.
We have a good friend of yours who works at a Kia dealership. And
yes.
Gosh, what a perfect dealership to work for right now, a Kia dealer.
Oh, they can't keep cars on the lot.
I know.
They just
like
literally
print money.
It's almost like people wait at the gas station across the street for the truck to come and then they pounce. Like Tellurides literally stay on the lot for a couple of hours.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
God.
put it this way: your buddy working as a finance manager there at the Kia dealership is planning on buying either a Bentley or a Ferrari California T. So
exactly. Yeah.
things must be going pretty well.
Yeah, he's doing quite all right for himself.
Yeah, yeah, good call. I'd feel much worse if he were working at the Nissan dealer across the street.
Ooh, yeah. It's actually the same owner.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's happy that he's not over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although used car department is shared, so
Okay.
at least, which is actually beneficial.
Yeah.
Because then you've got double the used cars
Right.
to sell warranties on. So pretty cool.
Yeah, but no, the new Sportage is good. It's fine. I wouldn't put it top in that class. Again, going back to Mazda, I'd still probably take a CX-5.
Right.
I think I'd take a Tucson just because I like the looks a little bit better. The one thing that was kind of weird, it's quite slow, which I'm okay with because I don't think most people buying that car are going to care.
Yeah.
But it's like foot to the floor just to get up to speed. Sort
Is
of
it like
slow.
Nissan Kicks?
Kind of,
slow?
yeah. But the engine doesn't sound strained. It's just like, I'll get there when I get
Is it
there.
a DCT in that? Or is it just like
no,
8-speed
I'm
auto?
pretty sure it's a conventional auto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I just didn't know. I figured it wasn't. Kia doesn't usually do CVTs, so I didn't.
No,
think it would be a
it's
CVT.
definitely not CVT. Yeah, so that's pretty good. And it's an okay Harman Kardon sound system.
Okay. Yeah, I saw you gave it like a C or a B. What'd you give it? I don't know.
I think it was
watched
a B
this
minus.
morning.
I think
Okay.
it was a B minus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to pump out the other 2 videos. Those will be going up Tuesday and Wednesday.
Cool.
Yep. So yeah, this week, and it's actually good that we're getting so many videos built up because I'm getting married in about a month and a half. And
Wish you had a cheer button again.
yeah. Whee!
Yeah.
And it'll be nice for us to be able to like take a week or 2 off kind of and just have so many videos built up that
Yeah.
just edit and
Yep.
and kind of coast with it. But starting things off, we have the Lincoln Navigator, refreshed for 2022. Looks a little bit
Yeah.
different outside.
Green interior.
Yeah, very like a dark forest green
Yeah, it's
interior
pretty
with,
sweet.
with a tan headliner.
Mm-hmm.
beige.
Alcantara headliner.
Mm-hmm. I've always liked the Navigator, even though it's getting a little bit older in its current generation. Like I said, the facelift kind of helps. And it's not as fuck you as the Escalade is.
It's not. Mm-mm. It's more, I'm from Detroit, look at me.
Right.
And then you get in and there's a map of Detroit on the dash.
Right.
Yeah.
So that when
Yeah, I
it
wonder
breaks
where
down in
this car's
15
from.
years,
They've
you can point out right on the map where it broke down.
Yeah, or where it was stolen.
Yes, or
Yeah.
it was stolen.
Do they build them in Detroit? They have to.
I can tell you.
Where do they build it? I'll look it up.
'Kay.
Stand by.
Yep. It's a black label, so it's pretty darn fancy, very expensive. And it'll be interesting to see if they've tweaked the Revel sound system at all, because I wasn't super impressed with it when I tested the last Navigator for 2020 model year. But maybe it'll be a little better, maybe it won't. Because that's
Where
where
did you
the
rate it last year.
probably only like it was before I did tier ratings, but it was probably like B tier, which
B.
is pretty sad because it has like 26 speakers or something, and they bragged about it. But like the Escalade is straight up S tier. It's like one of the best sound systems I've ever reviewed. So Lincoln has a long way to go.
Well, apparently the Expedition is built in the Kentucky truck plant,
Yeah.
but so are some F-150s.
Yeah.
So does that in exchange mean that it's possible that it could be built in Michigan too?
Yeah.
It probably says on the Murano.
Yeah, Flat Rock,
actually.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it could be built in Flat Rock. So that'll be neat. We're gonna be doing the full gamut on that car. Then we also have the Lexus GX, which the only reason it's relevant to have is because it has the
New
updated
infotainment.
infotainment system. And that's cool because that is an S-tier sound system.
Is it really?
Yes, it's so good. And
You
part
can
of
actually connect your phone now to it too.
right, exactly. And part of what makes it so good is that it's so dead ass quiet inside. Like you drive on the highway and it's like you
right.
can whisper to each other. And it's just perfectly quiet. I'm actually a tad bummed that we're not really going to be spending any time with it, driving it, because I like the GX. I didn't like it at first, but then I kind of like got its charm after a little while.
Yeah, I've also grown more to appreciate old new cars,
Yes.
new old cars. I
Except
guess
for the
rather.
4Runner.
Except the I would have appreciated the 4Runner if it didn't have the stupid exhaust.
Kentucky. That's
Yeah.
where our Navigator was built?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good thing there's a map of Detroit on the dash. They should have put a map of Louisville, Kentucky or something on there. What if it's like not a map of Detroit on the dash and I'm just like talking
right.
shit for no
It's
reason?
just random streets.
It's just like a
entirely
design.
possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it is Kentucky. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doubtful though.
Probably Detroit because Lincoln is just obsessed. Do you remember those old Lincoln commercials with Eminem? Or no, that was Chrysler.
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
Chrysler.
The 200.
The 200, like a base model 200 rolling through.
Yeah. Wasn't it
Detroit.
the 200 that had this Detroit skyline on like underneath in like the center console? But
Probably.
they left out the Renaissance Center, the GM headquarters building.
Oh,
They
did
they purposely left that out.
Wow.
Yeah, throwing shade.
What is it with American car makers just being obsessed with Detroit? Like I get that that's like okay.
I think they think people care more.
Yeah, but we don't care.
Right.
We're from here and we don't care.
American automakers are stupid.
Okay.
I mean, there's just nothing else to it. Even
Yeah.
back these car and driver magazines that are still here like 40 years ago, they do stupid things and they don't just understand, just build good cars.
Just build a good car. I don't care.
Like
I would rather have better build quality than a stupid map of Detroit in the car somewhere.
Right. Yeah, I don't think any the furthest an Easter egg should go is something like the little Jeeps that like crawl up the side
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
or on
window.
the Bronco Sport with the classic Broncos.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and those are more enthusiast type vehicles, so okay,
That's
I
true.
kind of get it, and it's very simple. But yeah, no one gives a shit about. I'd say 98% of car buyers don't care where their car is built.
No.
They don't know, they don't care.
Mm-mm.
They're just gonna waltz in and get a 96-month loan on something they can't
Yep,
afford.
That's right.
And they just want decent fuel economy and place to put all their shit, their
Mhm.
McDonald's wrappers, and then they're gonna drive it and not change their oil, and then
Yep.
the transmission's gonna break and they're gonna get a new one.
Speaking of not changing oil, do you ever watch Hoovie's Garage?
I do.
Tyler Hoover?
Not lately,
He
but
just bought a Maserati Levante that
I
went
did see that thumbnail.
60,000 miles without an oil change.
Jeez, how does he know that?
Because it's the car's brain it stores when like the oil life is reset. So I
Wow.
guess he doesn't technically know that maybe the oil life wasn't reset because they could
Sure.
have had it done at like some bootleg shop.
Yeah.
But it was, he got the oil changed and the car wizard was like, this is like some of the worst oil I've ever seen. Like it like stuck to the drain. Like it left a film, like it was really gross.
Well, there you go. People are gonna just buy their car, not change the oil.
Yeah, well it was a repo.
Still,
Yeah.
someone still bought it.
I know.
Yeah. Was he
Yeah.
the second owner? Is Hoovie the second owner? Like-
Yes. Yeah, person bought it new, made payments for like a year and then stopped making payments.
Put 60,000
got-
miles on it in that time though.
Oh, it's got over 100,000 miles on it.
100,000 miles.
I think it's a 19, so it's 3 years,
Wow.
3 or 4 years old.
A lot of drug running.
Oh, actually, yes, that's what it was used for.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have proof of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good pickup for Hoovie. That's like
Yeah.
Perfectly
I
in
only
line
paid
with
like
his
30
channel.
grand for it, or like 29,000 or something
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah, hopefully he makes more than that in revenue.
I'm sure he's already made it back.
Right.
He gets insane views.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of revenue, we've made over $1,000 on our Maverick Comparo. Cheer button. Yeah.
Excellent.
hmm I've also made a remarkable amount of money on my Can-Am Riker video.
Yeah, that's great. I saw that's been kind of like.
Yeah, the views are up, but the RPM is huge. Like
Oh, very good.
in comparison, the RPM on this one's like $14, and there are other videos like the Mazda 3 sound test is like $4.
Oh,
Our Maverick one is very high as well. It's like $10. So it's like the views, but then also the fact that the RPM is pretty high.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be getting any more bikes or Can-Am 3-wheel tricycle things?
Probably after the wedding.
Mm.
But yeah, I was already in talks with them to get the Spider, which is the elevated version of the Riker.
I have no idea what that means.
The Riker is like the Civic, and the Spider is like the Accord.
So it's bigger.
Bigger, more
Does it have a roof?
luxurious. No,
Is it a-
it's the same element.
Still a tricycle?
Yeah, it's still a tricycle. Reverse tricycle though.
You should get one of those stupid Polaris things that blasts music in cities. What's it
Actually,
called?
there is one of those in the press fleet right now, so I'm gonna try to get us one.
I don't want to drive. I have no interest in driving that.
You don't want to
It just looks like the most horrid thing in the entire world to drive.
You don't want to
That's
drive
kind of neat.
the Chevy Ecotec motor with.
I already have a Cobalt. I could just. I don't get. You could just buy a Chevy Cobalt, cut the roof off, and blast your shitty music out of that instead.
Yes, that's the Riker, a little smaller.
Oh, I see.
That's the
It's
Spider.
just a little more refined.
Yes, exactly. So it's gonna be ride a little bit different. I mean, you can still get sporty versions of each, sporty or unsporty.
Have you seen the video of the guy that takes a Riker into a skate park?
Yes, fucking idiot.
I always think of that now when I see Rikers. The guy doesn't he fall off of it?
Yeah. I think one of our early podcast episodes, I
talked about that.
talked about the death penalty.
Oh, right.
And
You
I
think-
think that's one of the just anyone like the person
Yeah.
who jumped the Tesla should be killed.
Oh yeah, I saw one the other day. Someone took an SUV into a skate park and was driving about in it. I think it was like a MDX or something.
I would almost rather those people be like drunk out of their mind or like on drugs than the fact that they're like doing it and recording it for like views.
Oh right, yeah, like the Tesla jump and the BMW X2 jump,
Yeah,
all that stuff.
right.
Yeah.
It's a shame. So GX, and then we also have the Compass, the 2022 model.
P-ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the P poop. It's actually quite a nice interior.
It is. Yes, I
Very-
have
very nice
briefly
inside.
driven the new Compass.
Yeah.
We drove it at the Mama Rally, and it drives exactly the same as the outgoing. I mean, it's really just a facelift.
Yeah.
It's got like a slightly different front and rear fascia, but the main difference is in the interior, and they like really stepped it up. That's the color of the one. That's probably what we'll get because that's the color of the one that was at Mama.
Okay.
The orange and the white.
Yeah,
Looks pretty nice.
it does look nice. What transmission is in this?
9-speed.
Okay,
It's
that's good.
bad.
I was just hoping it was. I was making sure it wasn't CVT.
No, they used to be though. They used to be CVTs and Patriots and Compass. I don't know if the Compass ever had a CVT, but I know the Patriot did.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of CVT, some idiot commented on
Oh dear.
on one of our Maverick videos. I think it was a fuel economy test one or something, and he said something along the line of like how do you sleep at night? Like recommending a CVT or something.
I
like-
sleep quite well actually.
And it's like, you mean the same transmission that Priuses have and do like 400,000 miles
Literally.
on regularly?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's not the transmission that's going out on.
He's
cars
only
like
ever heard
that.
of Nissan.
Right.
Yeah.
And yet, like, Ford 6-speeds and Escapes go out at like 100,000 miles.
Do you think? I'm curious.
Mhm.
Do you think there's a connection between the way that Nissan Altimos are driven and why they blow up so prematurely?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think like 120 up the left lane, constantly full throttle, broken, no missing bumpers. You don't think there's any connection?
could
I
be a
mean, there may
factor.
not be. I'm just,
It's just food for thought.
yeah. Just maybe something to consider before you talk shit about Nissan.
Fair enough.
Consider how they're driven.
Yes. Savagely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, CVTs are totally fine in the right application. I just don't want
Yeah.
them on WRXs.
Oh God, do they still do that?
They did. I don't know what the new WRX has.
Probably a CVT.
Yeah, probably a CVT.
Ugh.
Subaru CVTs are arguably worse than Nissan.
I don't even
CVTs.
want to. I'm not. I'm gonna refrain from speaking on Subaru today.
You're gonna take the high road.
No longer making any comments about Subaru.
Wow, that's very very bold of you.
Thank you.
Um.
Well, the last Subaru that we had.
Yep. CVT.
Yeah, great.
6-speed manual and a new Subaru Performance automatic transmission. CVT.
Is it in parentheses?
Yes.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
The last Subaru we had, I wasn't very nice about it, and we haven't had one since. Actually, we have. We had Chris got a BRZ. Okay, no, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, and we'll be getting one I think soon too. And I'm going to drive the new. Oh wait, that's the Z.
The Solterra.
No. I'm driving the new Nissan Z in a few weeks.
You are?
It's a local drive event.
Chris just drove it.
Yeah. Did he say anything about it?
No.
Probably embargoed anyway. Probably can't speak on it. But they have a local drive event that I'm going to drive it here in a few weeks.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Can I
car.
come?
Should be quite good. Maybe. Yeah, you can see.
Okay.
Yeah. Been a lot going on recently. So yeah.
No, I don't know what's going on anymore. So
yeah.
I'm just existing.
Yep.
And filming videos and editing.
Just pumping it out.
Yeah.
Content.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Compass, that should be good and fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm curious what sound system's in that. I wonder if they still do Alpine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Emily's is just a bass sound system, but it's decent. Honestly, her bass sound system is like,
Sure.
I don't know, probably like
B-tier
between
probably?
a C and a B. Yeah, it's pretty decent.
And you're going to be comparing the interiors of the old Compass and the facelifted ones. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll do quite well.
The biggest win for the new Compass is the new infotainment. Because the old one's garbage.
Sure.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Did you ever use the like super bass Jeep infotainment from like 5 years ago on like Wranglers or whatever?
No.
It's like comically rudimentary.
Like you press a button and then 5 seconds later it actually does something.
Yep.
That's how the Compass is though too.
Like
It somehow
M64.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miraculously has Apple CarPlay,
Wow.
but it's still that hideous matte
Matt.
screen, whereas the new one has just a normal like a phone.
Sure. Yeah, that's one of the coolest things about the new Uconnect system is how crisp the screen is.
Yeah.
Very, very nice glass.
Yep. Just don't remote start it because then your passenger screen won't turn on and your climate control won't work.
Most cars don't have to worry about their passenger screen not working.
Yes, but some people do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last car we have this week, probably the most exciting, is a BMW i4
M50.
Yes.
Don't leave that part out. Faster to 60 than an M3 competition.
Wow. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what bothers me, though? There's a 19-inch wheel option and a 20-inch wheel option.
Oh, hopefully ours has the 19s.
No, they're 20s.
Oh, no.
And the range difference is remarkable between the two. So if I bring this up here.
Yep.
BMW.
Fuel economy.
So the 19-inch wheels gets 98 mpg on the highway, and the 20-inch wheels gets 80 on the highway, which means, I bring these both up to compare, 270 miles versus 227 miles.
Holy crap.
Pretty dramatic difference there.
Yeah, that's not good.
Right, and it's a tad frustrating because Alyssa and I are actually going to be using that car this week to go to her parents' house, and her parents' house is about 260 miles round trip.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so if we had the 19-inch wheels, we would probably make it just fine because BMW probably undershoots its range estimate a little bit.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but instead we're going to have to stop and fast charge.
Oh.
Yep, because of the stupid wheels.
Life of an EV owner.
I know.
Stop and charge your car.
Well, I just find it strange because, like, I know EVs are becoming a little bit more mainstream, and the whole point of the i4 is to like make EVs a little bit more like normal. That's supposed to be its whole thing.
It still has the stupid face on it, so
yes, it does.
Mainstream it.
Yeah, but what frustrates me is EVs are still fairly new and fairly niche and fairly nerdy. So who's going to voluntarily give up 50 miles of range just for the wheel? There's nothing good about the large wheels. 19 is large enough for a sedan.
Oh yeah.
20s are just going to ride shittier.
Yep.
And get worse range.
Yeah. Miami. They're going to sell them in Miami. And
in LA, maybe.
LA. Yeah.
Just a shame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I feel like it would be in BMW's best interest to only have 19ers in the press fleet, especially in Detroit.
Yeah,
because everyone's going to bitch and moan about the ride quality.
And range.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I were BMW, I wouldn't put any of the 20-inch wheel cars in the press fleet.
No, I wouldn't.
I would rather have complaints about, the wheels are an inch too small because no one cares. I would rather not have complaints about, the ride sucks and the range is bad.
Right.
Right.
Plus, who's going to complain about 19s being too small? Right.
Some journalist that had to sit Comfort Plus instead of first class on his way to the event.
Let's see. BMW i4 32.
Is ours matte blue?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they look good, but gosh, those look like rubber bands of wheels. Or tires, rather. It is an attractive car, though.
It does actually look quite nice.
All right, so those are presumably the 19s.
It looks really good with the
20s.
Euro plate, which ours won't have.
Because it breaks up the grill.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's go to 19-inch wheels and see if it looks god awful.
Oh wow, it doesn't.
Oh yeah, it looks totally fine. What a concept.
It looks exactly the same.
To be fair, I don't know exactly which one of these have the 19s and the 20s, but
Oh,
the point is,
click on that car.
you're going to be fine either way. These might be the 19s because they're kind of arrow-looking wheels.
Yeah, that one's not an M50 though. That's just a base.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, very strange. Either way, I'm looking forward to it, and we're gonna put a lot of miles on it, so it should be a neat car.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Any Copart recommendations for us?
Let me see. You know,
You've been busy this week.
I've been editing.
So, yeah, so you haven't had time
no,
to just kill on Copart.
got any Copart finds for us. Oh, I actually have one that's very important.
Oh no.
Yeah, I do have one that's. I mean, if I have to choose one, it's this. It might be a little bit too damaged for us to purchase, but I think we should consider it.
Okay.
404 212 72.
Oh, it's a cross cab. I just saw one of these recently.
Yeah, unfortunately, airbags deployed and the suspension looks like it's damaged and whatnot. Beautiful color.
I love how this is still clean title.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So for anyone listening, it's a 2011 Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet, which, if you're not familiar, is a convertible SUV.
I feel like you'd own one of these.
Oh yes, I would very much be interested in owning one of these.
Yeah, definitely up your alley.
Yeah, I'd cut the muffs and just get that glorious VQ, just like
CVT.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, it is a CVT?
Oh, I'm sure it is. It's a Murano. Aren't
Uh,
those all CVTs?
2011.
Do some Google.
Wait, you guys aren't gonna be able to see this. Do it over here.
Charlie's Googling something currently for those listening. Googling Nissan Murano transmission.
It is a CVT, you're right.
I knew it.
Wow. So
260 horsepower. Can you imagine how much that weighs? I bet it weighs like 400 pounds more than the normal SUV.
Still, I'd still cut them off.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd swap a manual transmission in it too. Make a real and at that point I should really just get a G37.
Yeah, but this is funny.
Yeah.
So.
As character. But no, it is quite clapped.
Yeah.
By clapped I mean damaged.
It got hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
I found it.
All the shit in the back.
Yeah, that comes with it probably.
I see a McDonald's wrapper.
Yeah, and an ashtray.
Mhm.
Big ashtray.
Wow.
Probably
Very
smells
classy.
pretty nice in there. The good news is you could air it out very easily.
Because of the because
Yeah,
of the
just
convertible.
drive it down the highway with the top down. Would you like to see a really clean Buick?
I would. Better not be a
Okay.
LeSabre though.
It's not a LeSabre. 417 400 12.
It's a 2005 Buick Rainier.
Yeah, it's actually very mildly damaged. And you know what's funny about this? This has a salvage title. Look, go to the damage.
Oh yeah, because it's Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio salvages everything.
Literally just a bumper and
Hatch. The
and
taillight's probably in the trunk.
what's wrong with, oh
Although
yeah,
it's
the hatch is hit
it's
here.
probably cracked, but
Yeah. You could drive it as is though. Well, you put a
we just
taillight
put a
in.
taillight on it. You could probably take that bumper off and just pop that out.
Only 93,000 miles as well.
Yeah, it's so clean.
Yeah.
It's literally mint. These had an inline six. Did you know that?
I did not. That's pretty cool.
That is a 4.2 liter inline six in that
Hmm.
SUV.
That's a large inline six.
It is a large inline six. It looks like a nice car. I assume that I see that. There's probably a little bit of a crinkle in the what they consider the frame. But you put the taillight over it and you wouldn't even notice. I don't think there's any structural rigidity that's
No.
harmed by an accident like this.
Put it this way, a mid-2000s Buick is probably already as unsafe as you'd want to get
Yeah, I
anyway
mean,
from the factory.
Right. Well,
that-
this is just a Trailblazer.
Yeah. And so you're driving a death trap regardless.
They did so many different versions of this platform.
They did.
They did the Trailblazer, Chevy Trailblazer, GMC Envoy.
Yep.
They did the Oldsmobile Bravada,
They
the
did
Buick Rainier,
the Saab.
the Saab 97X, and the Isuzu Ascender.
Yeah.
They did 6 different ones. I'm
You're really
don't know
milking
that
that
I'm
one out.
forgetting any.
Is there a Cadillac? No, I don't think so. Cadillac didn't do many
No,
SUVs.
I
back
think
then.
they did a.
Was it the
was
first gen
different.
SRX or was that a different platform?
No, it was the X something SR.
Yeah. SRX was their smaller SUV,
No,
but
it was something.
that might have been a
different.
smaller platform. Than
Yeah.
this.
What am I forgetting? What? No, maybe it was just. It might have just been called the SRX actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they did 6 different trims of that thing.
Yeah, impressive, really. GM's abilities to just milk the shit out of cost of
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I bet no one even noticed.
No, I'm
No.
sure they didn't. Because
Mm-mm.
again, they don't care about anything. They
Which
just
one
wanna
would
not
you
change
have
their
of the
oil.
6? The
Well,
Isuzu?
Probably one of the ones that has the inline six.
Or you could have the super
The
6 point,
SS
the
Trailblazer.
Trailblazer SS, or the Saab 97X Aero was
Yeah,
the Trailblazer
I would
SS.
probably take that.
That was probably the coolest one you could have.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take the Saab. Gosh, that the last generation Saab, was it the 9.5 or whatever? Like the 2011 one.
The Malibu thing.
Looks so good.
Yeah. It's a very pretty car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Did I ever tell you about the girl in the Meijer parking lot who had one of those?
No.
Right before Alyssa and I met, I had a Volvo V. Is it a V? It must have been.
V70?
No, it was a press car, so it was probably a
V60.
V60 Polestar.
Oh, cool. Blue one?
Yep, wagon. Yeah, obviously V60. Yeah, like that grayish blue.
Nice.
And I was loading it up for Car and Driver 10 Best, and this woman like came up and parked near me in her last gen Saab 9.5, a really beautiful one, and we chatted for a while based on
nice.
because she was like, can't get like a new Saab, so I'll probably have to go Volvo, and I was like, well, this is a very good option, so she like checked it out and everything. So yeah, it was
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Neat. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Next week, I will actually be out of town for the podcast, so I don't know how we're going to handle it. Maybe we'll record on Friday, or maybe we'll have to go without podcast next week.
Oh, no.
I'm not sure.
What about consistency, though?
I know. It's tough. I clearly am a big one for consistency.
Big one for consistency.
Maybe I can call you, and you can just like set your phone right here or something.
You can just do the Tedward approach and just have a call in. Yeah, that's what he does.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll cross that bridge later on.
Okay.
It'll be a problem for future Charlie.
All right. Future Charlie, if you're
Mhm.
listening, screw you.
Moral of the story. And yeah, give us good vibes for getting all our 18 videos shot this week.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if I
Yeah. Well, if you
get
go to
whatever Charlie has.
And you have to go do the Honda event, so that's 19 or 20 videos depending on what
That'll
you shoot
just be
there.
a reel, yeah. So
Okay.
not as serious. But
I think you should do a little walk around for Daily Motor on that too, and just like literally like put on your camera or something and just
put
be
on
like,
my POV setup.
yeah, just
and
be like, this is the new HRV, show it off. Why not?
Yeah.
More views, more videos, more
views,
content,
more
everything.
more.
Something that can go live in June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we'll talk at you at the next one. We're Charlie and Chris with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.